Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to S.S.T. classes. Hope you all are fit and fine and enjoying your studies with S.S.T. classes. First of all, I would like to ensure you that there is no need to worry about your studies. Just think about your health. I'm here to worry about that. I will definitely help you to increase your knowledge and in your board examination. Because of this lockdown, there will be no harm for you. Just you have to continue your studies with S.S.T. classes. So guys, in the last video, we were discussing about Ashoka's Dham, and along with that we also discussed about the rock ethics of Ashoka. In last video, I gave you a question, and that was, which were the two states in which Ashoka used to send the officers after every third year at the place of fifth year? The answer of that question is Ujjain and Taksila. Guys, as we discussed in the description of Bindusar that two times revolt took place in Takshila. So at that time, when Ashok went there to crush that revolt, Ashok made a promise with the masses of Takshila that he would send the officers to check their condition after every third year. So because of that, he used to send the officer every third year to check their conditions in Takshila. On the other hand, when he became the ruler, before that he was the governor of Ujjain. That's why in Ujjain also he used to send the officers after every third year. Is that clear? Now here in this video we are going to discuss about Mauryan administration, means which are the major characteristics of Mauryan administration. So guys, Mauryan administration was the first example of central monarchical administrative system. Means Mauryans were the first who established central monarchical system for the first time in India. And if we talk about the Mauryan administration, then in the Mauryan administration, the supreme authority, means we can say that the highest officer in matter of judicial power, administrative power and military power was the king. Means all the responsibility related to administration as a supreme authority was in the hands of king. To help the king, there was a provision of ministers, and the ministers were appointed by the king, and the king used to appoint them by checking their, means after checking their qualifications. And this process of checking qualification for appointment of ministers is called as Uddha Pariksha. So what is Uddha Pariksha? Uddha Pariksha means a process to check the qualification of ministers by the Mauryan rulers before appointment. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about the Mauryan administration. So the ministers were appointed by the ruler, and generally the ruler used to appoint them after checking their qualifications, and this process of checking qualification is known as Uddha Pariksha. Is that clear? After that, at that time generally there were two groups of ministers. First is Council of Ministry. Council of Ministers, or we can say that Mantri Parishad. Council of Ministers or Mantri Parishad. So all the ministers generally were the members of Council of Ministers, but out of these ministers, some ministers were very special. Means we can say that there was a group of 2 and 3 ministers which were very special and which used to advise the king in most of the activities. Means most of the actions of the king were generally advised by these 2 and 3 ministers, and this is what we call Mantrinal or cabinet. Mantrinal or cabinet. According to the inscriptions of Ashoka, there is a name used for these, means there is a word for these council of minister or mantri parishad, and that was parisha. It was parisha. A word used for council of minister in the inscriptions of Ashoka. So first of all, here we are going to discuss about the central administration during the Mauryan period. The first point is central administration during the Mauryan period. So head of the central administration was the king. After that, there was a group of 18 different departments which were called as Tirtha. These group of departments, there was a group of 18 officers, 18 departments, and this group of 18 officers or department was called as Tirtha, means it was known as Tirtha. And the head of these departments, means we can say that the different 18 officers were generally known as Mahamatyas. Mahamatyas. Okay, Mahamatyas. After that, the next point, the major Tirthas at the time of Mauryan administration were the Purohit, means the priest, along with that the prince, or we can say that Yuvraj, along with that the Senapati or military commander. These were the major priests. Mahamatya also we can say that. The next one is Mahamatya. These were the major Tirthas. Mahamatya. Okay. So Purohit, Senapati or military commander, prince or Yuvraj, and Mahamatya were the major Tirthas out of these 18 Tirthas. Along with that, there is a mention of two major Tirthas along with these four. Means along with these four, there were two other major Tirthas which were Sannidhata. Sannidhata and Samaharta. Sannidhata and Samaharta. The work of Sannidhata was related with construction of treasuries and godowns. It was related with the construction of treasuries and godowns. On the other hand, the work of Samaharta was related with revenue collection, and description of, means he used to write the description of income and expenditure. Description of income and expenditure. Income and expenditure. Along with that, the work of preparation of annual budget. Is that clear? So in this way, the group of 18 departments was known as Tirtha, and out of that, Purohits, Senapati or military commander, prince, Yuvraj, Mahamatya, or we can say that the prime minister were the major Tirthas out of all these 18 groups. Along with that, there were two other officers related with these departments which are very important, Samaharta and Sannidhata. Okay, Sannidhata was also known as Koshadhyaksh, treasurer, and his major work was related with the construction of treasuries and godowns. On the other hand, Samaharta was an officer related with revenue collection, description preparation of annual income and expenditure, along with that preparation of annual budget. Now after that, Yukt and Upyukt were the other categories of officers which used to work under these Mahamatyas, or we can say that under these Adhyakshanas. Okay, along with these Tirthas, there is a mention of 18 major officers related with the Mauryan administration in Arthashastra, out of which the major officers are, means we can say that major Adhyakshas are Sutradhyaks, Koshadhyaks, Panyadhyaks, Lunadhyaks, Patnadhyaks, Kotwadhyaks, Ganikadhyaks, Artvik. These different categories of officers were there, 18 types of officers, out of which the major officers were Lunadhyaksha, or we can say that an officer related with salt, means used to collect the tax related with salt in salt manufacturing, and along with that the selling of salt. After that, the next point is Panyadhyaks. Panyadhyaksha, officer related with trade. Okay, Shudradhyaks, an officer related with knitting and weaving. Officer related with knitting and weaving. Along with that, Ganikadhyaks. An officer related with prostitution. After that, the next point is Koshadhyaks. Koshadhyaks, or we can say that treasurer. Okay. Along with that, Kotwadhyaks, an officer related with supervision of industries. Along with that, Patnadhyaks, an officer related with supervising the harbors and port related work. Along with that, Sitadhyaks was an officer related with agriculture, especially with the state land, means the land owned by the state. In this way, different categories of officers were there, mentioned in Kautilya's Arthashastra, and they had different categories of work. Along with that, we can also say that Bandhanagaradhyaks, or we can say that an officer related with the supervision of prisons. Okay, so the different kind of works were divided among the different officers and different departments under the we can say that in the central administration. Okay, now after that, the next step of Mauryan administration is the state administration, or we can say that the provincial administration, means after the state, the next step was province. Means we can say that the whole country, for the facilitation of administration, divided in different provinces. At the time of Chandragupta Maurya, there were 4 provinces, and after the victory of Ashoka over Kalinga, there were 5 provinces. Okay, so the next point is provincial administration. Provincial administration during the Mauryan period. Okay. So at the time of Chandragupta Maurya, there were 4 provinces. The first one is Uttarapad. Second one is Dakshinapad. After that, the next one is Uttarapad, Dakshinapad. Next one is Ujjaini. Sorry, Avanti Rashtra. Avanti Rashtra or Ujjaini, and Madhya Desh, and after the victory of Ashoka over Kalinga, Kalinga also included in the Mauryan Empire, and in this way Kalinga was made the 5th province. Okay, so in this way Uttarapad, capital Takshila, Dakshinapad, Suvarnagiri, Avanti Rashtra, Ujjaini, along with that Madhya Desh, Patliputra, and Kalinga, Tosli or Toshali. Is that clear? In this way, the whole Mauryan Empire was divided into 5 provinces. And to handle the administration of these provinces, there was a provision of an officer which was known as Kumara. Kumara or Aryaputra. Kumara or Aryaputra. Okay, and generally this Kumara or Aryaputra used to be the member of royal family. Mean to say that any member of royal family generally appointed as the Kumar or Aryaputra, we can say that as the head of the provinces. The provinces were further divided into Vishayas, and the head of these Vishayas were known as Vishpati. After that, means after the Vishayas, the next category was Sthani. Means a group of 800 villages. They generally work under the supervision of Sthani. Okay, an officer which work under Sanidhata. After that, the smallest unit of the Mauryan administration was village, and the head of the village was Brahmik. After village, the next step of administration was group of 10 villages, and the head of these 10 villages were generally referred as Go. Okay, along with that, Sangrahan, Dronamukh, and Sani means different categories of administration were there. Sani means group of 800 villages. After Sani or Sani, we can say that. After that, the next category is Dronamukh, group of 400 villages. Sangrahan, a group of 100 villages. Or we can say that a group of 10 villages was also there, whose head was Go, and finally the village and the head of the village administration was Rami. And after that, the last point is the family, and in this way, in the provincial administration, there was a continuous step-by-step formation of the administration. Means first of all, provinces, which were 5 at the time of Ashoka: Uttarapad, Dakshinapad, Avanti Rashtra, Madhya Desh, and Kalinga. In some books you can find Ujjaini also. Okay, at the place of Avanti Rashtra you can find Ujjaini also. After that, the head of these provinces were generally referred as Kumar or Aryaputra, and they were further divided in Vishayas, after that Sthaniyas, and finally the last unit is the village, and just above the village, the major unit of administration was a group of 10 villages, and the head of these 10 villages group was Gopal. Is that clear? So in this way, this was the structure of provincial administration during the Mauryan period. After that, related with city administration, there is no description provided by Chanakya in his Artha. But Megasthenes provided a detailed description about city administration also. So here we are going to discuss about the city administration present during the Mauryan period. Means which were the different categories of officers and council present during the Mauryan period to handle the city administration. To Megasthenes, there was a group of 30 members to handle the city administration. Mean to say that at the time of Mauryan administration, there was a group of 30 persons which was responsible for the city administration. Is that clear? And this group of 30 members was divided into 6 different committees. Means these 30 members were divided in 6 committees. And these 6 committees were responsible for different kind of works. Means they used to do supervision of different kind of activities. For example, the first committee was related to supervise the activities of foreigners who used to travel Patliputra, or we can say that the other cities of the Mauryan Empire. One committee was responsible to supervise the work of craftsmen, means related with the supervision of craftsmanship or crafting industry. After that, another committee was responsible with the registration of, means it was responsible for the registration of death and birth. Means it was responsible for birth, death registration. After that, the fourth committee was responsible for the supervision of sales of manufactured goods. Sales of manufactured goods. One committee was responsible for trade and commerce, which was responsible for trade and commerce. And the last committee was responsible for it was responsible for the collection of sales tax. In this way, the group of 30 members was divided into 6 committees, and these 6 committees had different kind of works to supervise. Okay, means they were responsible for different kind of supervising activity. After that, the next category of administration is related with the military administration. Means according to the different descriptions related with the Greek authors, especially if we discuss about Justin and Plutarch, and according to that, at the time of Chandragupta Maurya, there were 6 lakh soldiers in the army. Means in the Mauryan army there was more than 6 lakh soldiers, and in this way Chandragupta Maurya occupied most of the states of the country. Okay. So the description of the Mauryan military administration is provided by Megasthenes, and according to the description of Megasthenes, the major categories of army during the Mauryan period were, means different kind of military or different kind of forces present during the Mauryan period were Hathi Sena, means the soldiers on elephants. Soldiers on elephants. After that, Ashwasena, or we can say that cavalry. Okay, after that, soldiers on foot, means Paddle Sena, the soldiers on foot. Along with that, naval force. So different categories of military were there. Means elephant army, means the soldiers on elephant, soldiers on horse. Along with that, the soldiers on foot and naval force. Along with that, there was a group of chariot soldiers also. Chariot soldiers, or we can say that Rath Sena. So in this way, there were 5 categories of military present during the Mauryan administration. And to handle the administration of these 5 categories of military, there was a provision of 6 committees. And these 6 committees were responsible for different kind of military force, different kind of forces. For example, one committee was responsible for this elephant riding force, one was responsible for the cavalry or the horse riding force, one was responsible for the soldiers on foot, one for the naval force, and along with that one for the chariot. So in this way, 5 different committees were responsible for these 5 forces. Along with that, the remaining one was responsible to provide food, weapon and other necessary equipments to all these various categories of forces. And to handle the administration of these different forces, there was an officer in the Mauryan period which was Antipal. Antipal was the officer who was responsible for the military administration. Is that clear? So in this way, in this video, we discussed about Mauryan administration, central administration, provincial administration, city administration, and finally the military administration. If there will be any doubt in your mind while watching this video, you can write me in the comment section. I will definitely help you to resolve all your doubts. Remaining things with the Mauryan administration we will discuss in the next video. Till then, stay at your home, be safe. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Jai Hind.